What is going on, guys? This is Gainz Gaming. Today we are talking about the recent face-to-face with the developers, and this might be one of the biggest updates we have ever seen in Rise of Kingdoms and the most quality of life update they've probably ever come out with. So let's get into it. First of all, the first question is, will you be adding more quality of life tools to the game, like a speed up or resource calculator or kingdom management tools? Now, a lot of you know that there are a ton of different speed up and resource calculators out there. Some people have them on their Discords, but they are so helpful to be able to see how many resources do I have, how many speed ups do I have, and figuring out, do I have enough for this upcoming KVK or do I need to stock up? So they say we have already finished designing a speed up and resource calculator and will launch them as soon as we are able. As for other quality of life tools, we are still collecting player feedback. Based on our findings thus far, it would seem that a majority of players are relatively opposed to directly adding a DKP tracker or similar management tools to the game, which is why we have not implemented these features. I honestly would love that. I think that would be fantastic. Let me know what you guys think down below if you would be in favor of that kind of tractor or management tool, because I think that'd be really, really helpful. Second question, why do city themes have debuffs? You should get rid of city theme debuffs. Our initial plan for city themes is to have a wide variety of buff and debuff combinations, accommodating a range of different playstyles. As time has gone on and we have collected additional player feedback, we have started to think that city theme debuffs add little value to the game. So that might mean they might start taking away these debuffs. And what they mean by that is when you have, say for example, my Twilight Falls, I get 5% skill damage, but I also lose 10% infantry attack. So for infantry mains, they probably won't even consider using this, even though it could be helpful to them. So adding that extra skill damage, but losing something in value, that's not great. And so a lot of people, they don't invest into city themes like this because they don't see the value of getting the skill damage with losing the attack unless they're not using that many infantry units. So I think that would be very, very beneficial to take that out of the game, take the debuffs out and make it all about buffing. And then as such, we've decided to remove debuffs from all current and future city themes, and we expect to implement these changes in a future update. That is insane. So that would mean that my city skin, I will be gaining 10% infantry attack from here on out after they make this update, which is just fantastic. That might be one of the best things they've implemented, but don't worry, it gets even better. Question 3, will there be more ways to obtain transmutation crystals in the future? Yes, we are currently planning on more ways to obtain transmutation crystals. We will let you know the specific plans as soon as they are confirmed. That is fantastic. I think the more ways you can get these, the better. Now, question 4, this one is fantastic. Whenever a new formation is added, I need to invest a ton of resources into it, even though I have not finished working on existing formations. We are working on ways to reduce the resources and time required to acquire and replace armaments, without devaluing armaments that players have already invested into. Possibilities that we are currently considering include providing more ways to acquire these armaments, optimizing the guarantee system, and also adding the ability to convert armaments into other formations. That is fantastic. I guarantee you guys have gotten different armaments for something that you are not going to use. So for most people, they're going to be using wedge and arch formation. It's the vast majority. But a lot of times you might get something in the lion formation that is really, really good. Like this one, for example. The wielder's troop deals 1% extra damage. That is fantastic, but it's for the echelon formation. I'm never going to use the echelon formation. So for me, this is completely useless unless I'm able to transfer this into a wedge or arch formation, which would be fantastic. So I think if they do implement this, this would be nothing but good. Now, like I said, this continues to get better and better, and I think question 5 is even better than question 4. Constant KVKing is stressing me out. It is hard to build up the required resources in the off season. The answer is KVK is a core aspect of the game, but we want it to be fun for our players and not a source of undue stress. We are aware that constant KVKing can be stressful for players that don't have enough time to gather resources in the off season. In a future update, we plan on adding a partial refund of healing resources. At the end of each KVK, you'll be refunded a percentage of the resources you spent on healing units during the KVK. We hope this mechanic will make KVKs less costly and make it easier to prepare for the next one. Now, that is just amazing. I don't know what percentage you're going to plan on. I would assume somewhere along the lines of 10 to maybe, I don't know if 25% is too much. I feel like 10 is probably going to be the most likely scenario, but even 10%, that will be fantastic. I mean, obviously, like, you shouldn't expect to get a ton back, But, when they added the refund of troops, when you have troops that die in KVK and they're going to be sent back to you, at least 50% of them in KVK 2 and beyond, like that's fantastic. And so when you have this, it actually makes people put more into the game because they know they're going to get something back, versus when there is no return back, people were less likely to fight. And so I think this will be nothing but good. I think this will actually make them more money because people are going to be more willing to spend and more willing to fight in KVK when they know they're going to get some resources back, even if it's not a ton. Partial refund, I think, is fantastic. Going on to question 6, individual KVKs are too long, with a lot of long boring stretches in the middle. Will you be shortening them? I think this is very true. There are a lot of times where you have like a week or two with absolutely no fighting, and you're like, okay, well, I'm just waiting around now, just waiting for the next fight. So they say we're currently looking at ways to shorten the KVK season and its related events. Our goal is to trim unnecessary time from the season without affecting the core KVK experience. Once we've confirmed our plans, we'll announce them in another face-to-face and collect your feedback. I think that's fantastic. I think the 52 or whatever days is quite a long time. I think they probably could cut that down to the 40, maybe 45 days and cut off like a week or two of the KVK. I think that'd be great. The KVK matching algorithm needs to be fixed. I don't want to have to disband units and kick out non-combatant players just for KVK matchmaking. Now, what this is referring to is deleting units or filling up your hospital or forcing players to migrate or get them zeroed if they're not going to be contributing in KVK, which I think is a bad aspect of the game where you're forcing players to do that. And as of right now, in the current matchmaking algorithm, power is not the only factor that is considered, and true power actually has a very little impact on the kingdom's matchmaking rating, which is interesting. In addition, only players who have reached a certain level of activeness in recent KVKs will be factored into their kingdom's matchmaking. We are currently designing a new algorithm that will no longer factor in true power. That's crazy. It will also optimize the way we determine which players are active, and it should be factored into matchmaking. Besides adjustment to the matchmaking algorithm, we recently added a new vacation permit feature to facilitate kingdom management. We are also considering adjusting the number of vacation permits given to each kingdom based on the kingdom's activeness and giving a passport page discount for players on vacation. I think that's great. And I think it's also really interesting that they're going to be no longer factoring in true power. It makes you wonder if they're only going to be basing this off of the activity of the average player in that kingdom. But I think that could be both good and bad, because one thing you have to consider is if you have like some like really strong whales that just are active 24/7 and they choose to migrate and they use that previous KVK's activity level for your matchmaking, that could be detrimental unless that activity follows the player, which in that case, I think that makes sense. But like if you have someone that just jumps from kingdom to kingdom for insane KVKs, like there are a couple major fighters that do that, then if that follows that player rather than follows the kingdom they were in, I think that would be good, but we just want to make sure they're following the player and not following the kingdom in case that player decides to migrate. Number 8, the threshold for beating the Imperium kingdom is too low. Every time we want to take in new players, we have to massively cut our troop power. Now, 1846, I just migrated here. We already hit Imperium. Thankfully, we did finish our migration, but it forced players to fill their hospital to lower power to fit more players in. So this actually is very relevant for my new kingdom, 1846. In a recent update, we introduced a new special immigration rule, which we hope will alleviate some of the problems Imperium kingdoms have had with taking in new players. We'll be paying close attention to this issue. Once everyone has time to experience the new rules, we'll collect as much feedback as possible. Number 9, will there be more ways to acquire passport pages in the future? Even though you can theoretically buy them in the Alliance shop, most alliances are not willing to spend their Alliance credits to restock them. In the future, passport pages in the Alliance shop will automatically restock every single week, which should make it easier for players to acquire them. That is just honestly phenomenal. I think that is fantastic because a lot of times alliances will actually gatekeep their passports and force people to either pay for them or not give them out at all. And it's just like, okay, what are they supposed to do then? Like buy them with money? That doesn't make any sense. That's just not right. So I think this is great. Just going to depend on how many passports they're going to put every single week in the Alliance shop. So I don't know. What do you guys think is fair? Like maybe 10 a week? I don't know if that's too little or too much. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Going on to number 10. This is supposed to be a mobile game, but as of right now, using the mobile controls puts you at a disadvantage against people playing on PC. Will you optimize mobile controls? This is entirely true. When you fight on PC, you have all these different shortcuts that give you a huge edge in the game. So I think it's good that this is being brought to their attention because this is supposed to be a mobile game. And right now, playing on PC does give you a huge advantage. And their answer is, we've been paying close attention to how the game performs on different platforms. To improve everybody's experience, we'll very soon be introducing a new control mode to the mobile version. Just like the PC version's mouse controls, this mode will allow you to order a selected troop to attack, march, or attack march with just a single input. Launching with this new feature will be a number of new improvements, such as a filter mode. We're looking forward to hearing your thoughts once you try them out for yourselves. That's interesting. What other quality of life improvements will you be adding? We are in the process of developing several quality of life improvements related to exploring the fog, such as being able to send out scouts in batches, faster fog exploration, and the ability to automatically claim village rewards. This is mainly for, KVK 1 in preparation season, so it's not really relevant to most players because they did get rid of fog in KVK. So obviously, hopefully they expand this into Season of Conquest, but they also say we are continuing to explore quality of life improvements to all other aspects of the game, such as fighting barbarians. Not sure what that's going to entail, but maybe making them a little bit weaker or adding higher levels, who really knows. And then that is all for the face-to-face with developers. I think overall, this might be one of the best quality of life updates they have ever come out with adding different resource and speed up calculations, taking away the city theme debuffs, which is huge, basically reducing the healing cost for KVK, potentially changing around the armaments and the formations you can put them on. I think overall, might be one of my favorite updates to ever come out in the game. Hopefully this comes out very, very shortly. I mean, obviously a lot of this sounds like it will come out very, very soon. So we will have to see when this all does come out, but I am very, very optimistic about what this is going to look like because I think this is nothing but good. I don't see a single bad thing in this entire update. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about this update and what you are most excited about seeing. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.